In speedrunning, every once in a while, a skip will come along that completely changes how people run their respective games. Skips like Gelato Beach Skip in Super Mario Sunshine, and lag clipping in Donkey Kong 64, which alone provides infinite possibilities, are just a couple examples. In TF04, however, these skips are few and far between. Transformers has a couple nice things like mid-clipping cave skip, but nothing that blows the game wide open like the previous tricks I mentioned. Behind the scenes over the last 2 years, however, a few players from the community have tried on and off with little to no success to perform a theoretical skip that could save up to 7 minutes in the any percent run. This is the story of the current state of the greatest skip in TF04 history, Starship Skip. Starship is a level that doesn't seem that menacing at first. It is unique in how it works, however. You first play through the Starship in a linear style level, whilst Starscream jumps you and during the brief battle ends up crashing the ship. You then need to make your way through the same Starship vertically until finally reaching the end to fight Starscream for the second time. So that's it. What could possibly be done to skip the entire level? The basis for the trick was first theorized back in 2018 due to an observation as to how level maps load. To explain this, I'll use Mid-Atlantic as an example. When hitting the loading trigger for the tidal wave fight, the game goes through a loading screen. Why? Well, here the game actually loads in a new level map, one where the warship is gone and the tidal wave boss is there. So what does this have to do with anything? Well, the observation that was made in 2018 was that the trigger to crash the starship doesn't send the game into a loading screen, but immediately drops you into the crashed starship. This means that the uncrashed starship and the crashed starship must exist on the same level map. This was proven and shown off by Yeti in 2018 when he used the infinite glide up glitch to gain a substantial amount of height in the crashed starship section to where he flew back to the uncrashed starship. It was here where the trick was first theorized. What if we could clip out of bounds in the uncrashed starship, then immediately fly over to Starscream and engage the fight? It was at this time when Yeti, Hermonen and I began trying methods of clipping out of bounds in Starship. For a bit of context, in TF04, it is extremely unlikely that out-of-bounds clips happen at all. If they do, it is extremely rare. I probably have around 300 hours playing this game and have only personally seen maybe around 2 and maybe 3 out-of-bounds clips that I've personally done. I was lucky to record this one recently actually. Anyway, you can see for this reason that it is an extremely daunting task to find a clip at all with such a small community backing, but we held our hopes high back then. On July 14th, almost 2 years ago exactly from now, Hermonen clipped out of bounds in the uncrashed starship and confirmed that the Starscream boss trigger works. So how did he do it? Why am I even making this video? Well, he hadn't expected to get it, so he wasn't recording at the time, but here is a failed attempt from Hermonen on the day that this clip was discovered. It was obvious how it was done. When Hotshot gets up from a rag doll, he managed to clip through the ceiling. The community was rejoicing, but not for long. To this day, this method of Starship Skip has never been replicated by anyone, to my knowledge anyway. Soon after no one could get the glitch to work again, Starship Skip fell out of the minds of many, and this method of clipping proved to be too inconsistent to work in a full game run. Hermonen would continue to look for clipping methods for the next month, but nothing was found. Fast forward 2 years later to 2020. After fully coming back to the game at the start of July, I focused my attention on the any percent route and speedrun. Afterwards, I started to wonder about Starship Skip again. I turned my attention to the trick of getting back into uncrashed Starship after crashing it. There is a strange property of this trick that I have not mentioned yet. The bridge warp gate is normally deleted after getting the crash site warp gate, but after getting back up to the uncrashed Starship, you are able to re-access it. When re-entering this glitched warp gate, you end up in a strange place in the level, the elevator shaft actually. You may think that this is a soft lock, but there is actually a way of clipping out. By driving down the middle and aiming a little bit to the left, you can use the dash minicon, and rarely this will clip you through the door. However, the alignment has to be extremely specific. This is where the new trick comes into play. On the 10th of July this year, I managed to clip not back into the starship, but through the floor of the elevator shaft by aligning more to the right. This method proved to be somewhat consistent as I was able to personally clip through the ground within at least 5 minutes of constantly trying the trick, and some instances I even got it first try. Another thing about this clip is that I never clipped through the elevator door before clipping in the ground. So finally, we have a somewhat consistent method of clipping out of bounds in Starship. We just need to find a way to get inside the elevator shaft. Well, the day before doing that clip, I may have made the first steps in doing that actually, when I made the elevator go down without me on the top level. The way I did it was by dashing forward and pressing X to activate the elevator at the perfect time. This is perfect. The limited area that we have access to in the elevator shaft can probably be used in the same way as the left side clip done further down. So to conclude the video, is Starship Skip possible? Well, no. Unfortunately, I hadn't explored the concept of the elevator clips before finding this button exploit, thus I didn't explore the area too much. And of course, it's been almost a week now and I haven't been able to replicate this button clip. So this is basically my outcry to the community. Please, if you have some time, try and theorize and test ways to press this button without going down the elevator. It may be our only chance at achieving the impossible.
The party's just started.
So that is the current unwritten history of Starship Skip. I hope you guys learned a thing or two and are maybe inspired to try and glitch this level for yourselves. If you had just rediscovered this game, feel free to join the Discord server below and subscribe to the channel. I'm out for now, thanks for watching guys.